they have to do something. I mean, they've changed their logo into a sunflower, and it's Beyond Petroleum now instead of British Petroleum. So we'll. I think that it's more of a what do you call it, a PR scheme almost than something else.
Right. Yeah, or it could just be that there is they see the danger of if they stay on this path, and so that they want to have these things for themselves. I mean, I know when you ride down the highways here in America, the Pentagon has all these cameras all over the place, and these strange type of devices that look like some sort of EMF radar type of device that points down into the roadway, and those things have solar panels on them.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, do you know what they are, though? Have you?
Well, a lot of them are cameras that they say it's for the news so they can do traffic and things like that. But from what I've read, I know a lot of that stuff, if not all of it, that they've lined the highways around here with goes right back to the Department of Defense. That's the Pentagon stuff.
Yeah, it can be some kind of tetramast / cell phone type communication system, or as you say, some type of radar, or who knows. But what you're saying is that they've hooked those up to solar panels, so if the main grid goes out, they're still going to have those hooked up and running, probably?
I guess so, yeah. I think it's all set up for command and control type of stuff when they would collapse the economy, want to bring in the police state, that type of business, martial law.
Yeah.
That way they could keep an eye on people who are heading down the roadways, and all the main arteries in my area have these cameras on the highways and at stoplights and things like that.
And that goes back to that idea that you mentioned in the first part, which I really liked, that idea of when you went up to the mountainous areas and you said, like, there's no sign of that control up there. I mean, the control that we're seeing is still very much confined to the urban city type environment, and basically what we might potentially see here in the future is these, which is already happening, of course, but these mega cities. People are moving away from the countryside into the cities, either for jobs or to have a hangout with all the rest of your friends, or go at the pub, whatever it might be. I'm not sure. I mean, too many people, it seems like these days, don't want to live on the countryside. A few do, but not the majority. But
yeah, there's that sort of eye, dragging everybody's attention into that. It's trapping their minds and enticing them, I think. I'm kind of thinking of like the Lord of the Rings eye on top of the tower, and
yes. Well, exactly, and that's what I mean. Is like these type, the tetramasts, the cell phone towers, all that. It's creating a kind of an artificial bubble over these mega cities, and everywhere we go within this vicinity, we're like totally under some kind of electronic wave frequency type, suppressive, technology, basically, in that sense. But if you just go out a little bit out on the outskirts of the city, or even into the wilderness, as it were, in that sense, into the forest or landscape, that control immediately disappears, and there's nothing of that nature out there. So they're only kind of targeting this particular area, and at least for now, there's going to be potentially a huge, wide areas of like open spaces and just nature and nothing.
Right.
Nothing on there.
That's what I think will probably happen in the future, is that they will concentrate on these cities. They will concentrate on surrounding areas, suburban areas, because that's where they can lock it down. And I just see them turning into sort of war zones, because the people aren't going to have it. It's I can see it just turning into a bad, very bad situation. There's a lot of guns I know out here in America, and I know if they try and lock the cities down, I know in Philadelphia they have all kinds of programs. Bring in your gun and we'll give you this. Trade in your gun. And then they have these, people, I guess generally it's happened naturally. Like people just flip out and kill each other with their guns down there, or if it's being instigated somehow so they can come up with programs to take the guns back from the people. And and to create these programs. But I think down in the cities, they're going to try and lock them down, and that's where all the problems are going to be. Head out into the mountain, and sure, they could send people out there, but I think out in the mountains is going to be the safer place to be, out in the countryside, and especially if and when we have a great cataclysm, much like what brought down Atlantis. If you're out there, you're in a better place, a better situation. I particularly think mountains are good places to be, but people have to weigh. If they decide, say, okay, I want to get out of a more populated area, everyone has to weigh it in their hearts what would be the best place for them to go to wherever they're led to.
Yes.
But to get out, I think, of the cities in general and the populated areas, I think is important because I kind of feel people like us who know about what's going on, we kind of have to make sure that we survive through all this, because we got to carry this information, this knowledge forward. And I guess everybody's going to end up where they've kind of made their bed, so to speak. But I think it's important for us to kind of prepare. And I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I think, definitely consider these types of ideas and weigh it in your own heart and make your own decisions as always.
Yes.
But I think it's very important to prepare for this and try and put our minds to the skills, but also prepare and learn how to live off the land, learn how to do the homesteading and pull out of this system. But I also feel beyond all that stuff, I think it's important to get the skills to just completely learn how to live off the land simply out of a backpack. Because if things do go down and we have great cataclysms, I know a lot of people like to think, when I get there, that then some magically the skills are going to fall in my lap and I'll figure it out then. And maybe so. Maybe it will happen like that for some people, but I think when you get put into a situation like that where society collapses, you can't go get your food no more from the grocery store, and you don't have a house no more because things just been destroyed. You have to understand and have the skills to learn how to provide shelter for yourself, keep warm, feed yourself, and to get those basics type of things. And if the whole society collapsed, I could see that people who don't have these skills will